because it is very, very tricky. For the final, this is perfect.
You know, I think of the ones that I've seen in 18th and 19th century pictures, and you'd have everything from palaces to La Tour Eiffel. They're vast and very intricate.
They've got to get it absolutely perfect, utilising all the skills that they've learned over the whole of Bake Off and bring in their characters, bring in their strong flavours. This is going to be fantastic.
Do you know, week one now just seems so easy.
Morning, Richard.
Morning.
Piers Monte.
Piers Monte.
Who is Piers Monte?
What have you decided to do?
I come from a place called Mill Hill. Our village sign is a windmill, so I'm making a hill out of an almond sponge with a raspberry jam. Then I'm going to make the base of my windmill out of a ginger sponge with a lemon and lime curd. Then I'm making a croque and bouche on top of that with an orange custard drizzled in an elderflower liqueur white chocolate ganache.
Richard's mill on the hill will also feature an almond brittle stone wall and sails. Its sponge hill will be covered in iced green grass and meringue mushrooms.
How are you really feeling about it?
Nervous, it's the showstopper, isn't it? I had lots of ups and downs yesterday, mainly downs, so I'd like to redeem myself today, really.
Keep to your timetable.
Do my best.
Good luck, mate.
Cheers.
Bushels. Richard caught the baking bug when he was just 14. He became the 4th generation to join the family building business. But before bricks and mortar, he was crafting something a lot sweeter.
Richard had a job in the local high street cake shop before he'd left school, Saturday job. I think they gave him the doughnuts to cook. The building business and baking both require a bit of determination, and that's what Richard's got.
Richard built his family home for his wife Sarah and his 2 daughters.
Richard and I have been together for 13 years, and he is so modest and so humble. Even though people are telling him every week that he's doing so well, Richard never sees that in himself. Everything Richard does makes me proud. And of all the things that he's done, apart from being a really great dad, this is by far the thing I'm proudest of.
I'm making the mix for my ginger sponge at the moment. I am a ginger lover. I did marry one.
All 3 of the finalists have chosen to use sponge cake as the base for their construction.
Because I need to get ahead time-wise, I'm doing an all-in-one sponge, just throwing it all in. Morning.
Morning.
So, how are you feeling about it today?
A bit excited.
Good.
So excited I had flour everywhere, but anyway,
Good.
I'm sticking with the French theme. I've decided to do the red windmill.
The Moulin Rouge.
Indeed.
And how are you incorporating all the elements?
I'm going to have a 4-layer cake at the bottom. Then I've got my croque en bouche, and then the body of the windmill will be a ginger and orange biscuit.
Nancy will also be making mini shortbread decorations, and she'll be using red dyed caramel to create the Moulin Rouge's iconic sails.
You've got to think burlesque and red and black.
Paul thinks of
And
nothing else.
sort of sinister. So
Sinister. Oh, very nice.
Good luck, Nancy. This is going to be quite a size.
Yeah.
I
Do
think
you know
it's...
what? I think she can do it.
Nancy grew up in Hull, and after raising a family, in her 40s she went to university and gained a master's degree in business admin. She's been married to her husband Tim for 20 years.
She's focused on whatever she does. I mean, one time she was training dogs and got as far as taking the dog to Crufts. So if she's determined to do something, she'll do it.
Throughout the bake-off, Nancy's had the support of her biggest baking fans, her 8 grandchildren.
excellent, Ed. In you go.
I think Granny being a brick-off is good and a good baker. She taught me how to bake cakes and buns and lemon cake. It's good that Granny's in the final and I wish she wins.
So I've practiced it twice to try and get on top of it. I think I'm all right with all the component parts. My issue is time.
I've got 2 batches of cake to do, so get one done and get it in the oven quickly.
In you go.
With multiple elements and fillings to make, any delay in getting the first sponges into the oven will make the pièce montée even harder to complete on time.
Mine is called the village where I live. So I come from a village called Poynton, which is an old mining village. The undercurrent theme of flavour is chocolate through everything. So I'm doing a chocolate cake, a vanilla cake, which will then be flavoured. The bottom one is going to be orange and almond. The next one is going to be chocolate and hazelnut.
Works for me.
Louis's village in chocolate will also be decorated with mini chouquette and mint mackerel. Atop it all will be an edible tribute to his hometown of Poynton.
I'm doing a mining wheel out of biscuit, which will be out of the top of the cake, and then there's going to be a shoe rope going over it.
This is going to be interesting. It's all about timing.
Yes, it
5
is.
hours. Have you done this before completely?
Well, the last time I did it in 2 days, so...
2 days?
Well, I'll tell you something, I'm not coming back tomorrow, so you better get it finished.
When he's not baking, Stockport-born Louis channels his creativity into performing with his local ukulele club. But it's his work as a graphic designer that has helped him hone his skill for style.
Ever since I've known Louis, he's been creative. We met at art college, so he's always had a creative streak. I think that's really helped him with his baking.
Louis can thank his Spanish parents, who migrated to the UK in the 60s, for his early baking inspiration, and his family have encouraged him ever since.
Are you nervous, Louis?
No?
I know. We're nervous for you.
We are.
He just really worked hard. And now he's at the final. You just go, wow. So he's just so proud.
I'm just making shoe pastry now, just to try and get different things done.
Shoe buns are a vital component to any pièce montée and are traditionally stacked to give the structure height.
You have to throw the flour in really quickly and then bring it down to temperature slightly before you add the eggs.
I'm just cooking the flour for my shoe.
I put the shoe pastry in the machine just to cool it down to about 100 degrees before I put the eggs in. Otherwise, the eggs will cook.
Not quite ready yet. You need to get the shoe not too wet, not too dry.
You should be able to pick it up and it should only just about start to drop off the spoon like that.
I'm piping out my profiterole, so as soon as that sponge is done, they can go in and get inflated.
These will puff up in the oven, hopefully, and then I can fill them with passion fruit cream. I mean, they're normally bigger than this, but I chose to do small ones because I didn't want them to dominate the windmill.
These are little shoe balls, so they're all going to